It's a bull. Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Today's live cam in South Florida is going to be the Miami, I think it's a Miami Coral Cam. I'll take a look here and I'll escape out of here and show this to you. Yeah, Coral City camera, and it's an underwater camera streaming live from an urban reef environment in Miami. Go figure, something actually lives in Miami in the water. It is located along the shoreline of the east end of the port of Miami. Take a look at all those Sergeant Majors. Such beautiful. I mean, the water down here is so gorgeous. If you live down here and you haven't been out to the ocean very much, you need to get out there. This is what we live in Florida for. Well, let's talk about today's thumbnail. I think I'm going to create a little disturbance out there, but I'm going to explain my way through this. And not explain my way through this. I'm going to explain exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to crypto and gold, the differences between the two. This is not a trashing of cryptos per se. I am just pointing out the weak points of crypto and the strong points of gold. And and I also believe there's some very strong points in cryptocurrencies. In the future, I just think we're in the infancy right now. Too much volatility, too much newness. The technology is not quite there. And again, I don't see it as money. It's not money, folks. It's fiat. It's being pushed as money. It's just an electronic digital credit of some sort, not unlike a Donkey Kong credit that you'd win back in the days when you were paying video credits, except it's encrypted. It's an encrypted credit. And, you know, again, I think it's early, and it's, ooh, look at that pretty one. I'm sorry about that. I don't even know what fish that is. Got my attention there real quick. But no less, I want to explain the differences between the two, and the fact that I do think that crypto technologies, I'm not even going to call them currency because it's not money. It never will be money. Don't let them push it on you as money. I think governments and central banks are trying to, I think this rollout of Bitcoin was actually a way to get young people used to, digital money and losing control of having any privacy, because that's basically what it is. There's no privacy in cryptos. I remember in the early day they used to talk about how much privacy. Oh, it's untrackable. Well, we found out how much bullshit that is. That was a big lie. It's not untrackable. In fact, I'm going to go into a couple things about that. And let's move along to today's prices first. Man, what a great camera this is. Some days it's a little quiet, and if you see, that's just all the current and all the sand and junk that's flying by there. But look at all the Sergeant Majors. What a beautiful day that is out there. Makes me want to be a diver. I'm not a diver. I'm a fisherman and surfer, but not a diver yet. Maybe someday. Let's refresh these prices. It's been a little bit since I refreshed them. These are courtesy of CCE, one of the best coin and precious metal sites, dealer-only sites out there, and they've been around for 30, 40, 50 years. I don't even know how long. Markets are down a little bit today and down from yesterday, and it's all about this talk of tapering and talk of the Fed. Are they going to put more money in or less money out? And it really didn't move it that much. We're down probably off the highs. Well, we're at 1900 last week, about 44 bucks. We're still well above that moving average. And again, I think this is a lot of bullshit monkey hammering myself. I don't see any physical sellers whatsoever in silver and gold. I haven't seen physical sellers for quite some time. In my store, I'm on the front lines of selling retail and wholesale precious metals, gold, silver, and platinum. For years now, we've had way more silver and gold going out the door than coming in. In fact, I haven't seen any of the big whales. I've sold a lot of metals to some big whales, people that have spent millions in gold and silver. None of them have capitulated. And of course I remember who they are, because it's hard to forget a guy that spends $1 million or $5 million with you. But none of them have capitulated. They're all sitting there holding their precious metals. So are all the small buyers. Once in a while I'll get someone coming in. They're raising money for something else. And God forbid I get the guy that came in. And I have had a few come in that were selling their gold to buy crypto. And if I remember the most recent one that did that, I think he bought at the high of $50,000, and he sold his gold at a much lower price. Silver, I'm sorry, not gold. He's selling silver. bad trade in my opinion. Now, if you want to play with cryptos, I think it's like going to Las Vegas. If you know how the game is marked, if you know how the game is played, you know how it's manipulated, you know how to get in and out. Sure, why not? I think crypto is just like being a good card player. It's all about money management. If you can be a good money manager and you know how the game is played in cryptos, then you can probably win in that game. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that have made money. But let me tell you, you always hear about the people that made money in cryptos. You never hear about all those guys that have lost. And there's a lot of them, trust me. I'm going to go into why I think that cryptos are really more like a Las Vegas scheme. Not a scheme, but more like a Las Vegas game than an investment or a hedge or a security for your future. I don't think it is at all. As far as gold and silver prices, didn't even talk about them. I'm just about to move here, and I moved to the next screen a little bit too quickly. 1859 the low, 1869 the high. We're sitting around 1866. I think that the 200-day moving average is around 1840 or 1830 or something like that off the top of my head. So we're still well above that. Good news. And again, the only reason it's down is because of the Fed. Powell is jawboning. And again, I think that any market, whether it's crypto, whether it's even gold to some point is being jawboned down. But again, it's paper markets, which makes me question who is selling gold into this market. I don't believe that it's any private investors or small investors or large investors in physical metals. I think it's large paper trades, and I think a lot of it's probably bullshit. Again, manipulation to some degree. However, you can only manipulate gold so much. You can't make gold go like crypto from 50,000 to 30,000. Man, that's a heavy loss. You'll see moves and jumps in gold, but no entity is powerful enough to move gold that much. Even if some of the Fed or central banks came out and said, we're going to sell all our gold, we're going to sell most of our gold, and they've done that in the past, you don't see decreases in 20, 30, and 40, and 50% like you do in cryptos. All it takes is, like in crypto, one guy, Elon Musk, to say something, and it drops 20% market. At least with gold, it would take a couple countries to try to sell off most of it, and I don't even know how much of an impact that would have. That's providing they even have the gold. So gold definitely is a real hedge against inflation, a real hedge against wealth preservation. Cryptos are more like rolling the dice and going to Las Vegas. Again, that's my opinion, and I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. Let's move over to silver, 2770. Remember what we were talking about earlier in this week, too, psychological numbers. Well, 1900 is that current psychological number, but we've broken 1900 many times, and there's no doubt in my mind we'll break it again. Same thing with silver. This 28 is the psychological level right now. Temporarily, it's what I call a temporary psychological level. The psychological levels that are going to be the most difficult to bust through are going to be $50 silver and the all-time high of gold of 21 and change or whatever it is, because we haven't been there yet. So that's a psychological level. And when you haven't been someplace, it's a little more scarier. So psychologically, a little more fearful in unknown territory. But we're in known territory. 1860s, we busted through this before. 2770, we've been through this before. 1154 platinum, we've been through this before. Who cares? What does this provide you an opportunity when you see these dips or when you see this kind of monkey hammering going on, this kind of nonsense, like the economy is going to get better and gold's going to go down? It's not. So what do? You buy the frickin' dips. Stick it up their butts here. They're just trying to manipulate this around a little bit as well, along with all markets. However, I think unlike cryptos, unlike equities, unlike bonds, unlike a lot of other markets, gold is one of the hardest things to manipulate, and so is silver. Maybe silver is a little bit easier, but gold and silver, especially gold, I would say, is one of the hardest metals to manipulate. So wherever gold goes, silver is probably going to follow it, and platinum is going to probably follow it. Nice thing about silver, it's got industrial uses as well, probably more so than gold. Let me move along here, though, and we'll get into some points that I want to talk about. As I said, with these lows right now, as long as you see these lows, keep buying the frickin' dips. If you don't have the money to buy the dips, or you've already bought in pretty much, just relax, sit back, and just enjoy the show. Because you're going to, just wait it out and you'll be fine. Again, don't even consider selling into this market. If you're new into buying gold and silver, this is a buying opportunity. This is not a selling time, in my opinion. Again, I'm not an investment advisor. These are my opinions, but I'm a precious metal trader since 1977. I've been working for my family, second generation. I started my own place in 1995 here in Lauderdale by the Sea, and I've been in the same location, brick and mortar retailer and wholesaler. So I think I know what I'm talking about a little bit here. As far as cryptos, I'm not going to profess to be an expert, but I'm asking and I'm thinking questions that any sane a smart person would ask. So, and my questions and my thoughts on cryptos are not out of line or crazy. And again, I'll get into that a little bit more here as well. Let's look at Zero Hedge and take a look at some of the articles for today. And let me see, what am I going to do here? I'm going to quickly do a refresh. I'm not going to do a refresh. I think this is the newest one. I'm not going to talk about all these articles. I'm just going to make a few comments on some of this. John Stewart made some comments last night. If you go on YouTube, you'll see what he said at the Colbert Show. I think he said, and oddly enough, being more on the left side of the spectrum, it was surprising to hear him say that. And this has huge implications, folks. I've been thinking the same for quite some time, that this was not an accident either. I don't think it was an accident out of that certain location. I think this was purposely done. It's funny how all those riots and HK disappeared too, isn't it? Anyways, I digress. That's political. I'm not going to go there. Futures rates calm ahead as FOMC as copper crumbles. Again, I don't see, like silver and gold, I don't think copper is going to. I think China already said that they're going to try to put the stop on the rise in commodities and stuff, and they'll do it to some degree. However, they can't stop it entirely, and I think a lot of this is just trying to stem the inflation that we're going to come to see. Remember, copper has been underpriced for how many years? It's been in the same level for 20 years, or some stupid number, 30 years. Same thing with gold and silver, if you really think about it. These are very important metals as far as industry goes and all kinds of things. Copper too. So, of course, governments and corporations are going to have a vested interest in not letting these things go up. It costs them more. It's going to make it harder for them to sell product. But you know what? It's inevitable. It's inevitable. Inflation is inevitable. And in fact, this transitionary bullshit that they're talking about, there's nothing transitionary about this, folks. Come on, you know it. I know it. And I don't even see, are they just trying to spin more bullshit on us? I mean, my gosh, the lies get bigger and bolder all the time from Washington, D.C. and from central bankers. Bigger and bolder. Same thing with a lot of corporations. That's my opinion as well. So copper kind of gets tumbled a little bit too. Don't know enough about that metal to tell you to buy it. Plus, you got to buy it online. I don't think you can physically buy copper and buy enough to make a difference in your life. And again, there are some people that try to buy physical copper, but don't do it, folks. Those copper rounds are fun to collect, they're fun to give away, but do not get stuck into buying copper bars or anything like that. Turning them in, huge spreads, you're not going to make money. That's a contract type of deal you're going to make money on. We're going to read this article, translating Yellow Speak into Golden Speak here in a minute. Goldman expands crypto trading desk by offering Ether options. See, now, any of you folks out there that are crypto, really pro-crypto, and you don't like it when anyone says anything that's potentially negative, or you don't like it when, and I've gotten that before. I've talked about cryptos, and I get a lot of, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, and that's not, it is true, man. A lot of the stuff I brought up about cryptos is true. I'm not here to spin nonsense and make a particular segment of a type of market look bad, but, when you can't get answers to certain things, and the answers suck that you get, and then you watch how that market flip-flops so much, and then you see people like Goldman Sachs, JP, and those guys getting into the crypto markets, which is relatively unregulated. Now, these big behemoth investment companies, they go to regulated markets, and they move markets single-handedly. And they manipulate markets single-handedly. They have the capability and the money to do that. And again, I'm talking about regulated markets. Now think about crypto markets, which are generally new and unregulated. My God, they are the whale in the fish tank. They can eat every little fish in there. All they got to do is what I say is corral people into a certain mindset, get enough people into it, and then pull the rug out from under them. And that's exactly what's happening. I think that's what people are. I think people are getting, whether it's government doing it or corporations or individuals, I think people are getting corralled into these crypto technologies, these cryptos. And I think people are being lied to, being told it's money, because, folks, it's not money. Even the dollar bill's not money. So if you can't call a dollar bill money, and you call a dollar bill fiat, what are you going to call a crypto? Oh, it's money, dude. It's not money. Give me a break. Anyways, sorry about that. Let's read a lot of interesting news coming up here. Another retail sales miss. Again, that's not good for the economy in general. And talk about inflation. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Goldman, imagine you were stuck on the desert island. A couple good articles here, but I'm going to focus on this one right here. And sure, a lot of you are reading ZH, and if you've been watching my videos and you haven't been, you probably are now. Translating yellow speak into golden speak. Sip of coffee here, if you don't mind. Give me one sec. Okay. I like Matthew Piepenburg. He's one of the best writers out there, in my opinion. Given the increasingly politicized interplay cancer of central bank policy and so-called, I like how he calls it a cancer, it's true, of central bank policy and so-called free market price discovery is becoming increasingly more important to track the action of central bankers than just traditional market. Like it or not, the Fed, now look at this, the Fed is the market. I've talked about it many times. People are probably tired of hearing about it, but what happened to fundamentals? What happened to investment? What happened to a company makes a lot of money? They make a great product, and everybody wants to buy that product, and the company can't make enough of the product, and their sales are off the hook, and they're making huge profits. What happened to those days? They're not here anymore. This is entirely a Fed-fueled bubble. Got my word? Bubble. My opinion on our cryptos too. They're trying to either push people into the stock markets or the crypto markets, both of which they have great control over. They don't have that same great control over gold. And we know this for a fact because if they did, gold would be about $200 right now. And silver would be still $5 an ounce. They have some control over it over the short term, but over the long term, if you take a look at the charts, you know they have no control over it. But they try, and they do try. Let's take a look at it. But the Fed is the market when it comes to equities and that kind of thing. Towards the end, we've had some substantive fun deciphering the past, but let's not forget Janet Yellen. And I'm going to kind of skip over a few things here, and let's see. You should read this article for sure, Tracking the Debt Trail. I just wanted to kind of point out a few little quotes here. Speaking of gold and volatility, history reminds us of the kind of volatility that can occur in a sovereign debt crisis, with the Weimar being the most obvious example, yet one for which no one, to their detriment, thinks is repeatable. Of course, inflation on that level. This is the Germany during their hyperinflationary periods. Percentage change in the gold price, as you can see, there's your red line. Gold price in Weimar, look at this. And this is what I talk about, maybe not getting rich quick, but this is about wealth preservation. During Germany's hyperinflationary period, take a look at the price of gold, up and down, up and down. 1917 was the start of World War I, and as you can see, I don't know why you see that big spike there, but you do. Well, maybe because Germany was at the top. They were starting with fighting everybody. They thought they were going to win. Gold prices went down. The German mark looks like it actually went up, but it was all downhill from the German mark from there. Anyone that held gold did extremely well in those inflationary times. Translating Yellen is getting quite simple. Inflation is ahead. Looking forward, translating Yellen's political speak as opposed to her former Fed speak is actually getting quite simple. This year, she's already confessed that she believes we must reorientate our framing of fiscal policy. In plain English, that means we can expect a lot more deficit spending to come from the Biden-Yellen tag team in D.C. But this time, there's an interesting twist of nature in target spending. Namely, there's going to be trillions more of it, but it's heading towards Main Street's middle class, not Wall Street's upper class. Regardless of one's political math, remains nonpartisan. We know, for example, that fiscal policy will have a greater impact on inflation than just more monetary policy. Again, this is a really good article. Matthew Piepenburg writes some great stuff. Put this on your homework today for sure and read this whole thing. I would, but we're going to be here all day if I do. Magical money, dying money. The magical fantasy of such MMT solutions ignores one harsh reality. It's a currency killer, an openly dishonest illusion. Well, what was I talking about earlier? They lie to us daily. The lies get bigger and bolder all the time, folks. And that's what MMT is. It's a giant lie. It's a vote-buying situation for a particular party that's buying votes by handing out free money. It's not just one party. They both do it. They all do it. They hand out money to buy votes and stay in power. And then when the shit hits the fan, it's somebody else's fault. The new Bretton Woods. Okay, with all the political charm, I didn't really read that part. And it talks about Bretton Woods. We've talked about Bretton Woods many times here on this show, and we probably will again in the future. Same old, basically. Good article. Again, I'm not going to go over the whole thing here, and sorry about that. I don't mean to make you dizzy, but I want to show you the headline for this page right here because you do need to read it. ZH Hedge is a site that has all different opinions, all different types of narratives. Not a single narrative like corporate media that gives you one narrative, their opinion, and that's it. Everyone else sucks. What I like about ZH, it has all different opinions, all different narratives, and as a smart individual, you get to choose which ones you want to read and which ones you believe. I do like Matthew Piepenburg from goldswitzerland.com. He writes some fantastic stuff. This one's called Translating Yellen Speak into Golden Speak. I highly recommend you read this for sure today. And again, it's on ZH, and you can probably find it on their site as well. GATA.org, which should be on every silver and gold stacker's bookmark bar. You need to be reading this once a week. They don't update it that much. There's nothing new to read right now on here, but I just wanted to point this out. If there's any new viewers, that you must have this on your bookmarks bar if you're buying gold and silver. These are the guys that tell you how the game is played, how it's rigged, how it's manipulated, and who does it. You can't get much better than that. The best site on the internet for gold, no doubt in my mind. Let's take a look at... I had to pull this up. Ask me about my conspiracy theory. Well, let's talk about that. Here's my conspiracy theory. And let's first talk about a conspiracy. What is a conspiracy theory? Well, my first instinct is Wikipedia. I went to Wikipedia, but you know what? I got a love-hate relationship with Wikipedia. When it comes to politics and economics, I think Wikipedia sucks. You know, whoever's in control of the page that day controls the narrative on Wikipedia. But, you know, look what they call an I remember reading many years ago, 20, 30 years ago, when I used to look at the definition of conspiracy theory, it was never referred to as crackpots, a bunch of crackpots. Conspiracy theory is automatically lined up with a crackpot nowadays. That's not true. Do you know that a lot of conspiracy theories prove to be true? So I like how that as soon as the word conspiracy theory comes out, that the definition has been changed to mean that you're a fucking nutcase, which is the farthest from the truth. There's so many conspiracies out there, and it's just 1% of the craziest ones turn out to be true. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, don't like their definition of it. Is an explanation of an event for a situation that invokes conspiracy by sinister and powerful groups, often in motivation when other explanations are more probable. That's a bullshit explanation. Here, I actually found a better explanation of definition of conspiracy theory. Now, conspiracy theories can be created by people that are just wacko and nuts. Absolutely true. However, without conspiracy theories, we wouldn't learn anything that was being hidden from us. That's what a conspiracy theory is. And it's funny too. Government uses they like to say when someone's saying something crazy, that's a conspiracy theory. That's nonsense. That's conspiracy theory. However, the government has something they charge people with when they can't really convict them of actually, doing the crime. It's called conspiracy. So I like how the government's like shit on all conspiracy theories, but when it comes to charging people on conspiracy theory, they have no issue with it at all. Here's the real definition of conspiracy, not the one that you're told, like a secret cabal. Or even poor Merriam-Webster is getting hung up in this. Is best known for his conspiracy that a secret cabal reptilian human. Give me a break. This is what and look, it's a tiny little blurb. This is what a conspiracy theory is, right here. A theory asserting that a secret of great importance is being kept from the public. That's it. There's nothing crazy about conspiracy theories. There's nothing great about them. That doesn't mean they're true or untrue. What they really mean is asserting that a secret of great importance is being kept from the public. It's not crazy, folks. There's a lot of secrets that are being kept from us. Those are conspiracy theories. So there's nothing crazy about me having my conspiracy theory, or you, or anyone, as long as it makes sense and it looks right. I mean, it has to be investigated. Next thing I want to talk about is Greshams Law, and you're going to probably wonder, why am I talking about conspiracy theories and why I'm talking about Greshams Law? Well, Greshams Law, let me read the rest of Greshams Law. Whoa, how did I get there? Let me see here, and there we go, Greshams Law. What is Greshams Law? Greshams Law is a monetary principle stating that bad money drives out good. It is primarily used for consideration and application in currency markets. So more or less, it means when bad money, fiat money drives out good money, which means that say, for example, Roosevelt didn't call in the $20 gold pieces back then, but he let everyone keep their gold pieces and still circulate them and still use them for spending money and still take your $10 and $20 gold pieces that were around in the 1930s and use them for real money. But say he also said, well, I'm going to do that, but we're going to make these new notes that are not payable in gold or anything, and these are going to circulate with the gold coins. Well, if he did that, obviously people would start spending the worthless fiat money, and they would start saving the gold because the bad money is driving the good money out. People want to hoard good money. They don't want to hoard bad money. They want to spend it and get rid of it. And that's exactly what I want to talk about here. What is bad money? Gold is good money, in my opinion. And where do we go? Hang on one second here. What is Greshams Law? So I'm going to talk about. I want to talk about the. Give me one second here. Let me find out where I put that. I'm going to talk about where gold comes from. Where does gold come from? I mean, where does crypto come from? Well, crypto, particularly Bitcoin, which we're going to talk about, and I will focus on the one. I think Bitcoin is one of the earliest ones and the oldest ones. Bitcoin was made by some guy named Satoshi Nakamoto. Who is nobody knows who this is. His name was used by a presumed pseudo name, person or persons who developed Bitcoin. So we don't even know if it's a person or a bunch of people, or if it's, and when I say a bunch of people, could it be central banks trying to get younger generation used to a new payment system? Could it be a government entity? Could it be Israel? Could it be South Korea? Could it be the Chinese that created this? We just don't know, which makes it even more suspicious to me. If I'm going to put my money into something, I want to know where it came from and how it was created. I don't have to know all the details or the physics behind it, but I basically want to know. I don't want to hear that, oh, that was made by some guy, or maybe some guys, or maybe some country by someone called Satoshi. No, I don't want to hear that. That's who created Bitcoin, and there's billions of dollars in Bitcoin that was made by someone. We have no clue who it was, whether it was a government, central banks, or somebody evil, even for that matter. Anyways, development of Bitcoin. It talks about when Bitcoin was developed, and let's look at here. That's what I want to look at too. And the history of Bitcoin. Well, when was Bitcoin actually created? Bitcoin came around in, what was it? It was 2008. Creation. Bitcoin was created in 2008. The domain bitcoin.org was registered later that year. A link to a paper authorizing Satoshi Nakamoto titled Bitcoin. Well, anyway, Bitcoin has been around since 2008. So it's fairly a new thing. We don't know who created. We don't know who made it. We were told it was completely anonymous. Now we're finding out, years, decades later, that it's not. So, I mean, there's so much mystery behind this. And again, here, I'll get into that in a little bit as well. Let's talk about how is, we know how it was created. Bitcoin was created by Satoshi Nakamoto, whether he's a country, whether he's an intelligence agency, Mossad, CIA, NSA, or a South Korean, or a North Korean, we don't know, Chinese creation, we don't know. No less, we don't know who created it, where it comes from. We know how it works, but we don't know who created it and for what purposes even. And I guess you could say the same thing about gold, but let's move along to how is gold forms, the origins and the process. This is a good little article here. And again, I'm kind of comparing gold and cryptos, and the reason I wanted to do that is, gold and silver has a 5,000-year track record, at least or more. These cryptocurrencies have been around at the earliest 2008. We don't even know who created them, what they're for. We're still learning out new things. Gold is secure, folks, and this is what I'm trying to tell you. I would stay completely out of those, unless if you're a gambler and you have good money management skills. Definitely give crypto a try. If you know how the game is played and you've made some money in the past and you know how to get in and out, go ahead and play in the crypto market. However, most of us are not like that. Most of us like to buy and hold. We like to have that. We don't want to have to be daily day traders. We don't have to learn entire markets. The beauty of gold and silver is, you can listen to shows like mine. You can read about it. You can get into the technical trade aspect of it. However, you are always, and have before you were born, before your grandparents were born, before maybe even almost caveman days, this stuff has been around as real money. It's been traded as real money. money. Central banks own it. The Bank of Russia, the Central Bank of Russia, the Central Bank of the United States, the Central Bank of UK. All the major central bankers, the guys that create fiat currency, what do they own? They own gold. They don't own personally cryptos. They don't personally own fiat dollars. They push them on us. What do they own? They own gold. Why do central banks own gold, number one? You got to ask yourself that question. Why do the smartest people that created money and control money, why do they own gold? They own it because when the fiat takes a dump, they have something left. That's why they own gold. They recognize and know the importance of this metal. Key takeaway on how gold is formed. Well, we know how crypto is formed by some guy named Nakamoto, or whatever. Maybe some guy. It's a mathematical formula, more or less, that's encrypted. It isn't much different than a Donkey Kong or a credit on a video game. It is an encrypted credit for a video game. And again, I still strongly believe that that this was introduced to get people used to, especially the younger generation, used to a cashless society. That's my opinion. Again, that's my conspiracy. And I also believe that they're trying to corral people into using. Corporations are, especially the ones that can benefit, like JP and those guys, the big financial institutions. They can make a fortune by getting all the little fish into this small crypto tank, and then when they want, they'll take a big bite, pull out the rug, and then they'll raise it up again, get the greed factor going, get people back into it. Then they'll pull the rug again. That's how they do it. But they don't do it with gold, and they can't do it with gold. And another reason they don't want to dump on gold and ruin gold's reputation is because what do they have again? What do they back up their whole system with? Gold. Scientists believe all the gold on the Earth was formed in the supernova and the neutron star collisions that occurred before the solar system formed. And these events, gold formed during the art process. Now, this is complicated, cool stuff, but listen, yours and our gold and silver that we have were created by stars. Gold sank to the Earth core during the planet's formation. Theoretically, it's possible to form gold by nuclear processes or fusion or fission. Theoretically, it's easier for science to transmute gold by bombarding the heavy element and producing gold via decay. However, my understanding is that they once tried this, and I think they got like one atom. They made an atom out of gold or something. Or they were able to change something. So theoretically, they think, but it cost them like $1 billion to do it. Not $1 billion, but millions and millions to do it. So I think we're a long way from making gold in any terms. And again, with the amount of energy that it takes, imagine that. I mean, if it takes a star, and here we go. And natural gold formations. While nuclear fusion when the sun makes many, the sun cannot synthesize gold. The considerable energy, the sun can't even make gold. So you think we're going to be making it anytime soon? It's considerable energy required to make gold only occurs when stars explode in supernovas or when neutron stars collide. That's a pretty rare occurrence, folks. And that's a lot of energy to take to make gold. Far more safer gold is than cryptocurrencies, that's for sure. And this talks about another really good article here. I recommend you take a read on this. It's done by someone with a PhD. They seem like they know what they're talking about, and it's called How is Gold Formed? Origins and Processes by Thought Code. Don't even know who they are. I just saw the article and I liked it. But read this and compare it to Bitcoin. Again, you're going to see what I'm talking about. And you want to see what gold looks like. Let's take a look at a picture of what gold looks like. Hang on one second here. And there's what gold looks like. There's all the gold in the world, 166,500 tons. I like this website, by the way, Demonocracy. If you get a .info, if you get a chance to read it, they have all kinds of great things. Just type in gold in that Demonocracy. But look, there's all the gold in the world sitting next to a house, a tractor trailer. And again, this was made by a star, a star blowing up, or stars colliding. It wasn't made by some guy. Let's take a look and see what a cryptocurrency looks like. And where's my cryptocurrency? Oh, there it is. Can you see it? Maybe I got the wrong color too. Hold on. Could this be our cryptocurrency? Let's take a look here. Yeah, there's our crypto. Oh, there's our cryptocurrency. I don't know if you can see it right there. And that's the problem, folks. It doesn't exist. It's just a number. It's just a construct in your head. There's nothing physical or tangible about cryptocurrencies. Again, it sounds like I'm trashing them, but what I'm really trying to do is trying to point out what things really are. A dog is a dog, a cat is a cat. You can't compare gold and cryptos. There's no comparison. Gold has been around for 5,000 years. It's made by stars. It's made by colliding stars. Crypto has been around since 2008, made by some guy maybe. Again, I do see the benefit in the future of cryptos. I think we're in the infancy of cryptos. I don't think cryptos will ever or should ever be money. I think cryptos like Ethereum and those kind of things will evolve into being contracts. A safe way to hold contracts, a safe way to transfer money, a safe way to transfer deeds. That's how I see it working. But don't ever let them push it upon you as money. The last thing you want is money that looks like this. At least you, with a dollar bill, you can spend it, have it in your pocket. Nobody knows if you spent it at the local store, if you spent it at the local strip club. Excuse my language. Privacy. You will never have that with crypto, especially government-issued cryptos, and that's where they're going to go eventually. I believe the Fed is going to start their own crypto, and they're going to try to turn us into a cash society. That will be very bad because you will have no privacy ever again. And, of course, if you owe the government money, you don't have to send them a check or mail them a check or call them up and give them your credit card. They'll just take it out of your crypto account automatically. Very dangerous situation, in my opinion. So now that we know what crypto looks like, you can pick your color, black or white. That's your cryptocurrency right there. It just doesn't exist in your mind. But close your eyes, and maybe you can envision a coin with a big B on it. What's that coin probably made out of? Probably made out of gold. And again, if you don't believe me, type in this in DuckDuckGo. What does Bitcoin look like? Here, I'll show you what it looks like. The best they could come up with is they put the word Bitcoin on what? A gold coin. Why? What a coincidence, a gold coin. But really, Bitcoin doesn't look like that at all. Bitcoin is imaginary. It doesn't exist. It's just a math equation. At least with gold and silver, it really exists. It's 5,000 years. You're holding something magical in your hands when you physically own it. That's my opinion, folks. And, oh, there's some more Bitcoin, some more Bitcoin, more Bitcoin. There's some gold. Ooh, I like that. I'd like to have that in front of my house right there. So, let's take a look at, I hope I explained Bitcoins again. I'm going to get a lot of flack on this video. I'm sure about that. A lot of people, oh, Bitcoin, I made $1 million on Bitcoin. I made this I made that. How can you talk about it? It's the future. You know, what discourages me is those very same people. It's kind of like, you know, people that refuse to see some realities. You know, again, I believe that there is a future for cryptos, and I think there's a positive future if it's done for contracts, transfers, and that kind of thing. But as money, no. As an investment, no. I don't think so. And at least that's my opinion. I'm going to stick with it. Let's go over yesterday's video, best deals on gold. Oh, that wasn't yesterday's video. It looks like I've been replaying a bunch of videos. Let me go back one here. And where are we at? You need a plan now. Yesterday's video was about having a plan, and I think that's really important, is having a plan. Whether you're buying cryptos, gold, or whatever, have a plan. You know, am I going to sell it at this level? Am I going to hold on to it forever? Am I going to pass it along to my kids? What's your plan? But let's take a look at, oh, I get in a lot of, in my comments section, I'm getting a lot of scammers like this fellow right here. I don't even think it's really a real fellow here, Garrito Jackie Returns. If you see these in my comment sections on my videos, watch this. Great video. Many people, they almost sound like some real legit guy out there, and then they talk about cryptos. And then the same person has 10 different surnames or whatever, 10 different fake names, and they go out and they start responding to themselves. I hope none of you fall for this. And interestingly, every one of these scams involves cryptocurrencies that are on my gold and silver page. Go figure. Look, first to contact him, Hollow's Brush. Rumi's Marshall says, no doubt, mate, I'm also benefiting greatly from his daily signals and full-time trader now. My God, I guess there's people that really fall for this bullshit. These people, right, it's all the same person. It's all a scammer, folks. So, and I guess most of you probably know that. Bitcoin is a means to an end and a source of capital generation. Thanks to Dean Kent. Dean Kent must be the scammer here for showing me that I must reinvest my profits into real. I didn't delete this one. I usually try to delete these before you see them, but I didn't delete just to point out to you that on my gold and silver page, what's there? Crypto scammers. So I'll delete this here shortly. This is from yesterday's video. I'm going to go over a few comments from yesterday's video too. I'm going to just acknowledge a few people. Thanks for watching, everyone here. I'm going to go over just some questions about the specific video that we did yesterday. I really can't comment on everything here. I'd like to, and I appreciate everybody that's watching. Again, if you're new to my videos here too, I appreciate if you hit this subscribe button and hit that like button. It'd be nice. Again, thanks everybody for watching. And I'm just kind of, again, I didn't get a chance to look earlier. I'm just, oh, there's another day. I thought of day trading because I really hope Kent will guide me in making profits. What an idiot. Oh my God. It's probably some Nigerian guy too. They're really good at that from what I'm told. Bitcoin is a means, oh gosh. Again, I'm not going to go over there. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the nose. No plan, just prepare. Well, that's kind of what I was talking about. Thanks for watching Gun Fun. And again, like I was talking about my story where I saw a sinking boat and I saved 4 people from potentially drowning. They had no plan. Again, like you said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the nose. I don't think anyone has a plan because, you know, if I get punched in the nose, I know what my plan is going to be, so I'm going to fight back. So not true, not necessarily true. But thanks for watching, Gun Fan. And let's see, Imagining Around, blah, blah, Michael Matthews, coffee. That's really about it. Oh, Rick Blick, he's made a few comments out here. These miners are making a killing. I'm going to answer Rick here. Mining costs about half the price of silver, and sure they're making money. They probably deserve it. Until the gasoline prices start going up, that's going to hurt them a little bit as well. And I'm sure the miners did make a lot of money in 2020, sir, because most of them were closed. That's probably the reason we're having some supply issues. The miners are making a fortune, maybe not so much. The big bullion dealers are making a fortune. I think bullion dealers are making money. A fortune, I don't know. You don't really make a fortune in this stuff. You're working on such slim premiums, and there's high risk. So a fortune, probably doubtful. $15 premium on silver dollars, ridiculous. Silver's not even scarce. 84 billion ounces on ground. The Silver Institute said, I will wait for the price to come down before I buy any more at 24. 84 billion ounces above ground. Probably half of that has been put into landfills or more. Remember, a lot of silver is used in silver solders and stuff that's never recovered. So there's a large amount of silver in landfills. How much is in private investors' hands? I don't know exactly. However, it's rare, folks, when you consider that just in the United States, how many people are there? It's pretty rare stuff, especially since the fact that, again, it's used for electronics. The more they continue to use silver and silver solders, and that stuff just gets thrown away and doesn't get reprocessed, the more rare silver is going to get. Eventually, we're going to probably start mining landfills at some point, I would bet. And Xi Jinping says, still plenty of generic silver in Dubai, no shortage, just a big premium price. I'm starting to see some silver out here become more available right now, but I'm having a hard time getting some 1 ounce and 10 ounce products myself personally right now. Well, that's really about it. Let me move into what I think the best deals of right now are in precious metals and gold, and I'm going to keep it real simple. I'm not even going to tell you what the best deal, I'm not going to talk about any particular product. I'm just going to simply tell you what not to pay, okay? Do not pay more than a $6 an ounce premium on any silver items, any, okay? So if you can buy from a legitimate dealer a recognizable product and you're paying less than $6 per ounce, you're probably okay. However, I would prefer to see you paying in that $4 to $5 an ounce range. That's a much better price, and it's probably going to be generic 1 ounce silvers if you can find them, and 10 ounce generics if you can find them. Again, deal with your local dealer. I advertise to beat all the online, not all the, when I keep saying all, I advertise to beat the 3 big online sellers who are all reputable, and I've got no issues with them at all. I'm just being competitive, and I know I can beat their prices. I can beat APMEX, I can beat JM Bullion, I can beat SD Bullion. And of course, you know me. I always say buy local. Keep that money local. It's not, again, anything wrong with those big companies. I mean, if you don't have any kind of dealer near you, anywhere near you, then you may have to buy online. And those are 3 good companies. But again, if you can find a local dealer like myself, I will beat the online guys for sure. And your local dealer should be able to too. There's enough profit margin in there where he can do as well. And so again, I recommend, if you don't live in my area, I only deal brick and mortar. I don't deal online. I don't deal on the phone. So if you're looking to buy silver and gold and you don't live in my area, unfortunately, I can't help you. But again, I recommend that you find a local dealer. And if his prices are a little bit high, just say, hey, listen, I'd rather buy from you. Be real cool about it. I'd rather buy from you, sir. I'd rather spend my money here. Even if you got to order the stuff, I know you've been here for 10 years. I know you got a good reputation. So if you can match their price or come close to it, I'll buy from you instead of the online guys. That's what I recommend. And why do I recommend that? Because it keeps your money local. That means jobs, businesses, and more for your community. Very important in these times, folks. Keep that money in your community. Don't ship it off to China. Don't ship it off to New York City or whatever. Keep the money local. Well, that's really about it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime at 954-493-8811 between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Again, I only deal local. If you don't live in my area, please find yourself a local dealer. I really don't know where to tell you to go on some places, but do a little research. Take the time. And again, some folks say, I don't have a local dealer within an hour or two of me. Listen, at some point, you're going to have to sell your precious metals. Even if you've been doing nothing but buying online, when you go to sell it, you don't want to sell it online. You don't want to ship it out. I wouldn't recommend that. You need to make a relationship with at least somebody, even if it's a 6-hour drive in your state. You need to make that drive and find yourself at least 1 or 2 good dealers in your area that you can deal with when it comes time to sell this stuff. And again, I prefer you be buying it from them as well. Hey, thanks for watching. This is Brian Kuzmar. And let's see what happens in the markets. Again, buy those friggin' dips, folks. Good opportunity. Talk to you soon. Have a nice day.